A home inspection is a report of the property's condition and is normally carried out before you buy the property. This report will determine if there are any defects around the property that you as the buyer might not have picked up. Eric, welcome to All About Property.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Now, what are the benefits of having a home inspection done before you buy a home?
Buying a home is probably the most expensive purchase you'll make in your life, and having it done prior to that, you get to know what defects are in the house. Most importantly, it gives you the peace of mind that you've bought wisely.
Now, this home was put on the market. The current owner put in an offer without having a home inspection done, and only afterwards discovered that a whole lot of defects to the home. Shall we go have a look at some of these?
Yes, let's do that.
A home inspection will report on the property's condition, ranging from the roof, the inside of the roof, the walls, plumbing, electrics, damp and water leaks, just to name a few. Okay, so Eric, tell us about this roof.
This particular product is supposed to not be painted. It's not correct for mineral torch on, so immediately that would draw attention to it. The fact that the parapets have been painted over and don't look good.
And was that because it was leaking or what?
This roof has leaked on multiple occasions, and that should have drawn people to the conclusion that there was problems, but people don't look at these things, they don't see them, they don't understand them. That's the sole reason why you would call in somebody professional to inspect it for you.
Now just give us some insight into latent and patent defects.
Okay, a patent defect is one that you can see with the naked eye. A latent defect is one that you cannot see. Sometimes patent defects are cosmetically covered up, like in this case, and they would become latent because you cannot see them.
And is it up to the seller to disclose these defects?
Yes, according to the Consumer Protection Act, the seller is supposed to disclose the defects, but of course you have the voetstoets clause. Now the voetstoets clause, a lot of people try to hide behind the voetstoets clause as a means of getting out of problems, but the voetstoets clause says that, that you buy as is. But if you're buying as is, and it's been camouflaged, then that becomes latent, and the voetstoets clause does not apply.
Shall we go have a look at what's happening inside?
Yes, let's do that. This is actually damp, but the white is called effervescence. Now that is due to the salts coming out of the brick. Basically what happens, the brick gets wet, and the moisture exudes the salts, and the salts come out on the surface. This type of thing is very common, but often if it's plastered, you don't see it.
Okay, so anything else in this room?
Well, as can be seen from the roof here, there's areas all over the roof that have gone black. Now, this means that the water has got in from the outside and is now causing serious rotting and decomposing of the timber. In this particular case, as can also be seen around the skylight, the timber has been painted to make it go yellow so that the prospective purchaser wouldn't notice it.
Now, shall we have a look at the rest of the house?
Yes, let's go up to the bedroom area.
I've immediately noticed that it's the same problem that we've had in the other area.
Correct. Virtually every room has got problems like this where the ceiling boards are badly rotted and have been covered up. Another problem with this house, this is a calci brick house which is prone to cracking because the bricks don't bond as well with the mortar, and as can be seen by the arch is collapsing and there's cracks in the wall in a number of places in this room. Now the source of this problem, we believe, is due to water getting underneath the foundations and causing the house to actually open slightly and unstable. So the water that comes off the roof is getting underneath the foundations and causing a problem. And that's what happens with a lot of houses, and that's why you get cracks in them, because of the water getting under the foundations.
And again, these are things that the normal person would not have known when you went to look at a home.
Absolutely.
Under the South African law, we buy second-hand properties voetstoets. In other words, in the condition that it is in, provided the seller disclosed all the known defects before you buy. However, should you discover any defects to the property after you move in, it can be tricky to prove that the seller was indeed aware of these defects. So Eric, this really looks very bad. I don't understand how could this new owner not have seen it when he bought this?
Well, it's actually not that difficult to miss it. First of all, the lighting in this room is exceptionally bad. It's a bit like a dungeon down here, so it's not easy to actually see the wall that closely. However, this wall is a particularly bad example, and as can be seen, it's been repaired and repaired and repaired. Consequently, it's very rough, very uneven, and there's a huge amount of damp in this wall. The only way you can actually fix this wall would be to actually build another skin of brickwork, probably about 30-40 millimeters away from it, because there's no water actually running through the wall, it's just bad damp, and then seal that wall off, because this area really is not fit for habitation.
Now, this new owner is unfortunately now in this mess. What can he do from a legal point of view and to fix this house? Because he's now the legal owner, he owns the house.
You would need to start off with having a professional come in and inspect the house, give you a full report on what's wrong, and then you can proceed legally. What we do in situations like this as well is we can act on behalf of the buyer and meet with the seller, and we call it a building dispute. It's not an arbitration, but a building dispute.
Yeah.
And then we sit down with the seller and say to the seller, look, there are things that haven't been disclosed properly here, and you should have actually notified the buyer that you had problems with damp, you had problems with the roof, and that try and make the guy see some sort of common sense, because going legal, especially when you're talking about 600,000, 700,000, 800,000 rand, becomes a Supreme Court matter.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at least 4 or 5 days in court at 70,000 to 80,000 rand a day per party, and whoever wins or loses could end up paying the other person's costs. So you can end up spending R1 million on an 800,000 rand repair.
Just explain to me, how would this new owner situation have been different if he had a home inspection done before he signed the sales agreement?
Look, in all honesty, he probably wouldn't have bought it.
A home inspection report gives you the opportunity to negotiate a lower price offer on the home, as you have to carry out the repairs. Alternatively, you can also request that the repairs be made a condition of the sale to get those matters attended to before the property registers in your name. Now, Eric, a lot of people buy brand newly built homes, which often also have defects to them. Can they also call your services in before they actually buy the home?
Absolutely. We can do quality control inspections during the build process. We'd be the eyes and the ears of the owner. We get involved in snagging and desnagging. We work with architects often, and the advantages are huge because we are impartial.
Now, just very briefly, give us an idea of your full service offering as a home inspection company.
Okay, Inspector Home have been operational since 1985. We've been a franchise operation since 2004. We have branches all over the country, and we have qualified people to do those inspections. We do inspections of residential houses. We do inspections of commercial and industrial buildings. We also do rental inspections of buildings. We do warehouse inspections. So we've got a full service.
Well, Eric, it was really very insightful and great chatting to you. Thank you so much.
It's been great. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.